Welcome back to Who's Spy TV. I'm Royston Simon, and this is the channel where you can look forward to content surrounding real estate, financial literacy, and self-betterment. I'm also Price Match Poppy, and that's a very fitting title for today's video, which is house hacking. But before we get into house hacking and how it's beneficial and what it even is, I'm gonna need you guys to hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you're alerted every single time I drop a new video, and give this video a thumbs up, like it, so that it shares far and wide on the YouTube page and the YouTube platform. So now that we got that out the way, let's get into house hacking. And what house hacking is essentially renting out a portion or portions of your house out to generate a rental income. With that income, you're going to go ahead and offset the expenses associated with owning that property, okay? AKA your mortgage, okay? So let's just look at things from a numerical standpoint, right? Just because we've talked about it from a definition standpoint, now let me actually illustrate the picture for you. Let's say you go and find yourself a duplex, and what a duplex is basically a dwelling that has two separate livable units in it, okay? So you've got unit A, you've got unit B, there's a wall dividing it, or maybe horizontally, I did this, but there could be this. And basically between the two units, it's still recognized as one dwelling, but there's two livable spaces in it. So what house hacking is you're gonna be living in this property and renting out the other unit to somebody else. So let's just say you live in unit A and you have somebody renting out unit B. The rental income that you generate from unit B is gonna go towards your mortgage. And if you do this correctly, you can be living for free and possibly even cash flowing, right? Because we're not confined to it being a duplex. There's the possibility to do this with a triplex. There's a possibility to do this with a fourplex. You can even do this by the room in a single family dwelling, right? Because you really get to dictate what you're gonna be renting out, how much you're gonna rent it out for, as long as it makes sense for you. So let's break down the numbers associated with this, right? Let's go right back to that duplex example that I just gave you. You're living in unit A, someone's living in unit B. Your mortgage for this entire dwelling is $2,000, okay? And let's just say you rent out that second unit to somebody for $1,500, right? This is not the perfect house hack, but I'm just gonna help you break down the numbers. You're renting out unit B for $1,500, your mortgage is $2,000. That means that you got to live in this entire dwelling in your unit for $500 because you collected that $1,500 every month from that individual renting out unit B, and you're gonna apply it to your mortgage every single month, which is $2,000, which is leaving you with the deficit of $500 every month. But that's better than paying $2,000 yourself every month. Now let's go and stretch this example out a little bit, right? Let's go ahead and use this same example for a triplex. So let's just say you're still living in unit A, you've got someone living in unit B, still renting for $1,500, and now you got someone renting out unit C for $1,500 as well. Your mortgage is still $2,000. That means the rental income that you get from units B and C is going to be in surplus of your mortgage, which is $2,000. You get to pay that mortgage every single month with that rental income and still leave yourself with $1,000 in pocket every month as well too. So you're cash flowing every month and getting to live for free. That is a huge bonus, okay? That is a game changer, because imagine you could live under your own roof for free and actually also get paid to live in this property too, because you're in surplus. You're cash flowing $1,000 based on the rental income that you're collecting on a month-to-month basis, right? Those are huge pros, right? And it doesn't stop there. You're also gonna have the benefit of mortgage paydown, which is you decreasing that debt that you have on this property every single month. So as you pay down that mortgage, you're increasing the equity that you have in your home because you're reducing the debt as the overall value for your home either maintains, and like I'm about to get into for this next pro, increases, right? So you're gonna also benefit from the factor of appreciation. So your property is going to appreciate over the course of time if you bought correctly in the right area with the right time and you've done your due diligence from an investment standpoint, right? Because essentially what house hacking is you living in your investment property. So you're gonna have the benefit of having a roof over your head that you actually own, that you're on title for. You're not paying down somebody else's mortgage like you would be in a rental situation. You're gonna benefit from the mortgage paydown and also benefit from the appreciation taking place in the property as well, right? From an investment standpoint, the value of your property is gonna increase. The debt that's associated with this asset is going to decrease, leaving you with a larger margin on equity associated with this investment and property that you have, right? This is your asset. You're going to be benefiting from the growth of equity with this asset, okay? That is why house hacking is so phenomenal. And not to mention, you get to have a roof over your head as well. That is yours. This is your property, okay? So there's a lot of potential benefits associated with house hacking. There's a lot of pros. However, on this channel, I really like to stress transparency. So with the pros being said, I gotta shed light on the cons, right? I gotta show you guys both sides of the coin. And I'm pretty sure by now you've identified the biggest con associated with house hacking is the fact that you've got to share your space. I know a lot of people have the preference to have their home. You want to make that space yours. However, there is going to be the need to share certain space with this property with the other individuals that you're renting it out to, right? So that could be the backyard, that could be, you know, maybe the front yard, the mailbox, maybe you guys share the same entrance to this property. Who knows? It's going to vary from property to property, and also how you set the guidelines for the people renting in your property. But at bare minimum, you're going to have to share certain aspects and spaces of this property, maybe even just the driveway, right? Like, you're going to have to share that with that person who is going to be renting out your property from a convenience standpoint, and also just like a livability standpoint, right? Because you still got to make sure that the units that you're renting out with this house hack are livable, are meeting a livable means for the people that are going to be renting it out, or else it's undesirable and you're not going to have the capacity to rent it out, right? No one's going to want to live there with you. So I also want to clarify as well too, when it comes to house hacking, I know a lot of people are just like, well, you know, duplexes are not just everywhere, you know, I can't just find a duplex down the street. Yes, I understand that. Multifamily properties are not in abundance, right? And if they are, maybe the numbers might not make sense. But however, I really want to stress the importance of being creative, right? House hacking is not just bound to multifamily properties. You can actually do house hacking with single family homes, right? Let's just say you rent by the room instead. So you can actually get yourself a 4-bedroom house. You have 1 bedroom and you rent out the other 3 bedrooms to other individuals, but then that would require you to share other living spaces within that house, right? Because you don't have separate units to really distinguish each unit individually like you would with a duplex or a triplex. However, you can still technically house hack, because house hacking is a principle. It's not really bound to the type of property that you have. It's all just a matter of you living in this property with somebody else, whether that be through separate units or not, okay? So if this video has been enticing up to this point, I really want to clarify and share with you guys some of the things that's going to be needed for you to do to really get yourself in a position to house hack, okay? And what house hacking is going to require you to do right off the bat is sit down with your mortgage professional to figure out what your budget is and where you can actually house hack, right? Because when it comes to house hacking, you're going to have to be able to position this property as somewhere that you're going to be living. So first and foremost, we've got to determine what kind of financing you can secure for yourself to actually apply to the house hack that you're trying to execute, right? Because for a house hack to actually work, you've got to live in the property. And that can be a good thing and a detrimental thing as well too. Because from a lender standpoint, it has to be within a reasonable distance from your employer, right? Because if you're gonna be saying that you're gonna be living in this property, it has to be a realistic distance from where it is that you work. So that's why your mortgage professional is going to be key here, because he's gonna find the lender that is gonna be okay with you finding a property that is house hackable from the distance of your employer. This is something that can be really, really flexible if you're someone who works remotely. If your employer says that you are a completely remote worker, then you can actually house hack anywhere, because you don't have to find a home that you're gonna house hack that's within like a 50-kilometer radius from your employer. Because if you're not fully remote, we've got to position this property as realistically somewhere that you can commute to and from work on a day-to-day basis, because no one's going to believe that you're going to be living in this property that's in Windsor if your employer is in Toronto and they say that you cannot work remotely. So that is key. We've got to figure out exactly how we can position this house hack and what your budget is going to be, as well as your radius, because it's got to make sense. If you're someone who has, you know, the necessity to go in office and be present physically at work, we're going to limit ourselves in terms of where we can actually house hack from. Okay, but on the flip side, house hacking from a financial standpoint is going to be a game changer for you. Because in Canada, when it comes to real estate investing, if you're going to be stating that a property is an investment specifically, you've got to have minimum 20% down payment, right? However, if we're going to be saying that we're owner occupying this property, we no longer have to have 20% down payment. You can actually be below that 20% down payment threshold. So if this property is somewhere that you can realistically say that you're going to live in, you no longer have to scrounge up a fifth of the purchase price as your down payment. You now have the flexibility to get as low as 5% down payment towards this purchase, right? So long that you can qualify for that mortgage. And that is why it's good to have those conversations with your mortgage professional before you embark on locating this house hack. And then from there, you find a realtor who can find a property that fits within that budget and those guidelines. But that is why this is all a strategy that is better suited for people who know about it sooner and then can do all the necessary steps to implement it. So that is why this video is something that I was really determined to put out sooner rather than later, because even though I didn't get to house hack myself because I wasn't aware of this strategy in time, it's something that I really think that a lot of people can capitalize off of should they know about it and then devise a plan accordingly now that they're aware. So first things first, you gotta make sure you get in touch with your mortgage professional to figure out what your budget is and also the radius that is gonna be allowed for you to implement this strategy. And then from there, you gotta go find a realtor that can find you a property that associates and fits within that budget and those guidelines. So hopefully this video was of value to you. I think that house hacking is a phenomenal strategy to implement. I have a couple of friends that I've seen implement this strategy very well, and I actually wanna get them on this channel to come and talk about their experience with that firsthand so they can share with you maybe some of the other things that we're not noticing on the surface level about house hacking, and let you guys be as informed as possible. But that's more reason for you guys to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a beat as I uncover more and more how house hacking can be of benefit to you. But I also want to give you guys this little keepsake to take with you as we close out for this video. House hacking only requires you to occupy this property for a year. When you say that you're going to be owner occupying a property, which means that you're going to be living in it, you only have to do that for a year, technically by legal standards, right? After that year, you can then move out of that property, put another tenant in that property. Now that property is 100% a rental property, right? You're generating more income from that property, but now you get the opportunity now to go and house hack all over again. So now you can go find another property that you can live in and rent out, house hack again, while having that previous property as a full rental for you. And then after a full year takes place with that property, you move out again. Now you have 2 rental properties, you found another property to go and house hack, and now you're on your 3rd property that you're house hacking, and you can quickly see how you can scale your real estate portfolio immensely over, a yearly time span. So before you know it, maybe 4 years deep into house hacking, you've got 3 full rental properties that you've previously house hacked, and now you've got the rental income from those properties because you're going to be in surplus, you're going to be cash flowing from those properties, and now you can go look for the property that you're going to live in yourself, completely by yourself without having to house hack it. And just 3 years of sacrifice is going to lead to you now having enough rental income to maybe support living in that property yourself, which is essentially something that I'm trying to implement myself right now. I'm in the midst of my own, real estate journey where I'm building up my portfolio to generate enough rental income to help satisfy all of the debts and expenses that I have in my day-to-day basis. This is how you can quickly achieve financial freedom through real estate, because you're essentially living in these properties, turning them over into rentals over the course of time, and then going to be leaving yourself with rental income to still collect from these properties as you progress further and further through your real estate journey. So that does it for today's video on house hacking. Hopefully I was able to bring you guys some value and keep you guys informed on the real estate strategies that I learn about on a day-to-day basis, because I want to see you guys progress as I progress. Comment below, would you house hack? Is this something that you're considering? If not, what is the deal breaker for you? I'm really curious to hear some of you guys' thoughts. Make sure you guys subscribe below, turn that notification bell on so you're alerted every single time I drop a new video, and also give this video a thumbs up as well too if you enjoyed it. Not to mention, before we head out, check out the Cognitive Capital podcast, which I am the co-host of. We talk about real estate, finances, success, and the different types of journeys through entrepreneurship, and we talk about it on a weekly basis, and I want to keep you guys in the loop. So that being said, hopefully you guys had fun today. Stay tuned, stay locked in for all content coming very soon. Peace.